First flight of the orbital Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery's core computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
I was reading the book called Think and Grow Rich, and it had a list of what Napoleon Hill thought was a good list of the qualities and the major attributes of being a leader. Napoleon said, number one, a leader needs unwavering courage. And I don't know if I totally agree with the unwavering part of this or not, because sometimes our courage does waver a little. Bend but not break. Courage mounts up, and then sometimes we have the doubts that creep in, and we reach a little deeper to find that courage that overcomes our doubts and our fears. So I would probably debate a little bit with Napoleon on this unwavering courage, because sometimes courage does waver. But as long as it stays, as long as in the end there it is to serve you, the courage to do what you didn't think you could do, the courage to step into territory that might be a little unfamiliar, the courage to talk to somebody you don't know, the courage to attempt conducting a meeting, the courage to give your first testimonial, the courage to solve problems you couldn't solve before, that kind of courage. The courage to stand up when it's sort of dark in your corner, the courage to do it when it isn't going your way seemingly, the courage to try to have a good day in the midst of a bad day, that kind of courage. Wavering a little at times, yes, because we all have doubts that attack us. We all have small fears that creep in. That is the nature of life. But that's what faith is all about. That's what courage is all about. To serve us when our doubts will not serve us well. Faith to overcome fear, and courage to overcome our doubts. But that is a good quality, a good attribute for a leader, and that's unwavering courage. Second, Napoleon said self-control. That, of course, is the very essence of life itself, is self-control. Because we all have this warfare going on. It's going on in the world, the warfare between liberty and tyranny. In our own body, the warfare between health and illness, the struggle is on. The struggle between light and darkness, struggle between good and evil. I call it opposites in conflict. And as soon as you're born into the world, as soon as you find yourself and discover yourself on this spinning planet headed somewhere, you know that this exists. To be a civilized society, we must drive the dark side of our nature into a small corner and let the positive side flourish. Early, we must learn to exercise self-control. Power is a wonderful thing, but it must be exercised properly. It must be exercised to benefit and not to destruction, so that you can become the best example. The example of having your temper well managed, to having that dark side of your nature under control. The best example of choosing wise words and not being careless, that kind of control. Control of your appetite, control of your desires, so that they fit into the positive side of life and not the negative side. Self-control, very important. Now here's the next three. Willingness to assume full responsibility. All of us have been taught that, to take full, 100% responsibility. What happened to me might not have been my responsibility, but what I do about it is my full responsibility. If a hailstorm destroys the farmer's crop, he wasn't responsible for that. But his responsibility now begins when the hailstorm is over, when he asks the question of himself, what should I do now? Now that this catastrophe is over, now that the damage is done, now what should I do about it? And a philosophy I've taught all these years, it's not what happens to you that determines your future. It's what you do about what happens that determines your future. And this is a major part of it, accepting full responsibility. Also, you've got to be responsible for your future. Nobody's going to fix it. No one else is going to design it. No one else is going to come along and say, hey, I will make sure it all works well for you. You've got to take all the input. You've got to take all the testimonials, all the teaching, all the training, all the influence. Then you've got to have the responsibility of designing your life. You can design a life of prosperity, or you can design a life just to coast and get by. The responsibility belongs to you. Then he said, a leader must have a keen sense of justice. How very true. Justice we become familiar with, even when we're small. When certain things that happened or were done to us that something told us that wasn't right. Someone did us wrong. We have that sense of right and wrong, and it starts very early. Then we have to have that sense of utilizing what's right and what's wrong so that we develop this sense of justice, this sense of being fair, this sense of being on the positive side, on the right side. To minimize a person's mistakes, they need to have this sense of justice. It's been a catastrophe in the last 6,000 years, the governments that resorted to power instead of democracy, that resorted to intimidation instead of freedom. And we all know the terrible toll that takes. But it takes a toll not only politically in a country or politically around the world, but it takes a toll even in enterprise. It takes a toll in school if a teacher is unfair. It takes a toll in working on a team where someone is unfair or where the leadership is not fair in the administration of justice. So this is true. A keen sense of justice and what's fair and what's right. Part of this we have to learn as we go. You don't have it all the first year. You haven't got it all the second year, the third year. After all the years that I've, been around, both as a human being and as a business person, we're still, even at these years, trying to decide what's best, what's fair, what's right, to give balance to our life and to build on a firm foundation for the future. So I agree with Napoleon. Good idea. A sense of justice. Here's another one, he said. Definiteness of decision. Indecision is the thief of opportunity. If you don't decide, the opportunity could slip away. If you don't decide what you're going to do today, the day could get away and you're not very effective. Is it possible to finish the day before you start it? And the answer is yes. If you don't finish it to the best of your ability, have some idea, some good plan, sure enough, the day escapes. And in the morning you say, let's see, what should I do now? In the afternoon you say, hey, time's getting away from me, what should I do now? And now most of the day is lost. Most of the day escapes not being utilized and doesn't work for you simply because you didn't make those decisions early, at the early part of the day. The decisions we make in the early part of our life sometimes last for a lifetime. If you neglect them and don't make them, sure enough, the time passes and the opportunity sometimes is diminished, and sometimes you spend a lot of time now catching up simply because you didn't make those early decisions. So it's the decisions at the first of the day, it's the decisions at the early part of the month, it's the decisions at the early part of the year that greatly determines what kind of year you're going to have. The decisions you make in the early days of your marriage, sometimes those are the decisions that affect the marriage for a lifetime. The decisions you make at the first chance you see opportunity, those decisions, what you're going to do with it, how far you're going to take it, what it's going to be meaning to you in the years to come. Those early decisions are vitally important. Then we need decisions to correct poor decisions, to overcome our mistakes. It's possible, of course, for all of us to make unwise decisions. And at the end of 1 year, at the end of 1 week, 1 month, or at the end of a few years, we say, that decision cost me too much. Cost me a lot of time, cost me a lot of money, cost me maybe a good relationship, cost me a chance to be productive. But as long as you're alive, there's still a chance to use new decision power to correct the mistakes of decisions that were bad in the past. All of us have the opportunity to do that, but I think Napoleon was right here too. You got to be definite in making decisions so that the opportunity doesn't pass you by. Take advantage. Here's the next one. Napoleon Hill said, a good leader has definite plans. How important that is. Don't let this momentum pass you by. Don't let this momentum go uncashed in on. Don't let it be like a lost cause for you. And maybe you've, because of the lack of plans have lost a month or two, or you've lost a week or two, or maybe you've lost a year and you were 10% effective instead of 100%. Now's the time to change all that and start making some plans. You got to have some plans for your family, right? You got to take your family along. Don't leave them out. One of the challenges all of us have in making our plans is how to balance everything, to make sure that we don't regret at the end of the year, I spent too much time on that. I spent too much money. And then if you have, say, how can I not do that again? And construct some better plans so that you won't have any regrets at the end of a year to come, 5 years to come, 3 or 4, 5 years to come. Definite plans. Plans for the use of your money so that you find yourself secure regardless of what happens. I agree with Napoleon here. You got to have good plans. One more on plans, and that is the plan for your personal development. The plan to be better this year than last year. The plan to take the classes, attend the workshops, do everything you possibly can to show personal progress. Not just financial progress, not just the progress of having one more car or one more home, but the progress of personality, the progress of communication skills, the progress in how to deal with people, progress in using your influence so that it multiplies its power by 5 by 10 versus what it used to be. You need those kind of plans. A plan for personal growth, personal development, a plan to be all that you can possibly be in the years to come as you developed in your life business and your family business, all of that. Got to have good plans. Next, Napoleon Hill had a good saying. It was something my father had and passed it on to me as a good philosophy. And here's what he said. A good leader has the habit of doing more than what he gets paid for. What an incredible philosophy this is. The habit of doing more than you get paid for. It's what we call the service that you put out like seeds in the ground that doesn't bring the harvest immediately, but the harvest is yet to come. It's called like putting out the capital in capitalism. Doing more than you get paid for means that you're getting ready for the next move up. Because if you do more than you get paid for, you've made an investment. The average person might think if I do more than the company requires, then they're ripping me off. I'm not getting paid for that extra time, that extra attention. But you must not view it that way. You must say, I'm getting there a little earlier, staying a little later, as an investment in my own personal future. Because I want that kind of reputation. I want that kind of philosophy to work in my life. Do more than you get paid for. So what you don't get paid for, don't worry about that. Just render the service with the vision of the future that it'll come back multiplied if you have this kind of habit, this kind of philosophy. Next, Napoleon Hill talks about personality. You need a pleasing personality. There's many parts to your personality. One is your working personality. The kind of behavior, the kind of attitude that you need, especially in the public. Some things you can kind of get by with being a little careless, maybe in private, but in public, where it counts so much in your paycheck, it counts so much in building your business for the future, your own personality. But here's what you also must remember. You develop your personality in private so that it serves you well in the public. Sometimes we get the mistaken idea, I can be careless with just these few and be more careful when I have 1,000. But see, that doesn't work that way. Careless with a few, sure enough, that will creep into your presentation for 1,000 people. The influence you have one-on-one, that's what really counts. You say, well, I'm only talking to 2 people, it doesn't matter much. That's when it really matters. Because if you'll practice well there, using your personality, using your influence, to get someone's attention, to get them to listen, to get them to participate, the kind of personality that someone says, I'd like to be around this person. They're unusual. They're not like the average person I meet on my everyday experience. That kind of personality. But you've got to practice it behind the scenes. You've got to practice it one-on-one. And if you're effective one-on-one, one-on-three, one-on-five, I promise you, that will get you ready to now perform with the kind of personality, the kind of charisma that wins people when you're in front of 500 people, 1,000 people, 5,000. So this is a good point, working on your personality. Next, Napoleon Hill said a leader needs sympathy and understanding. We have to develop that early in our lives. All of our lives, we have to look at those that are less fortunate than we are, those who need a helping hand, and especially now we learn to look at those who need an opportunity, those who need a change in their health, those who need a change in their life and in their lifestyle. That kind of leadership quality is so powerful, that kind of understanding. Now here's the last one. Napoleon Hill said, a major attribute of leadership is vision. Vision is in many parts. One, a vision for your own course to follow. A vision for you, for yourself. A vision for your financial future. A vision for your health. A vision for your wealth. A vision for you to latch onto and make something out of. A vision for your family. Because vision must now lift others as well as ourselves. Guess what our family is counting on? That we'll be able to see things that at first they cannot see. That we'll be able to look further into the future than perhaps they will be able to look. The same is true with your organization, the people that are around you. They're counting on your vision. Perhaps you've been there a little longer than they have. Maybe you've been there a lot longer than they have. And they will look to you to help them see things that they can't see in the beginning. And if you will do that, develop that attribute of leadership, I'm telling you, you'll have such a dramatic effect on your organization, it will be unbelievable. A vision for yourself, a vision for your family, a vision for your organization, a vision for the people that you're close to. The old prophet said, without vision, we die, we perish. Unless we can see into the future, life loses its meaning. Unless we can look further than just where we are at the moment, then we have no reason for faith, no reason for activity. But if we'll develop this skill, beyond any other skill, I'm telling you, it will help us touch people because they'll want to be around us. You can have a vision that will take your organization into the future and bless everybody with success.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Tuesday, December 28th, 2021. Jedi Master Strike Team Productions is privileged to present to you another episode of the 365 Daily Grind, where we strive to be a better version of ourselves, for those in our circle, and that we might inspire others to do the same. I am your host, military veteran, certified mental health specialist, and the best dressed inspirational Call of Duty content creator in the world, JMST PromoTitan. Ladies and gentlemen, we wish to welcome you to today's episode. We also want to thank Doc Soto 8404 and My Veteran Passion for hosting today's episode with you all. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find the links to each of those channels in the chat. Let's talk about choosing to be the best version of yourself. Oh man, Jim Rohn and I go a long way back. Actually, I started listening to Jim Rohn, probably about 10 years ago. One of the things that I love about this video that I did not anticipate or foresee, because I didn't really listen to this one in advance today, is the highlighting of him and his various mentors. For those who don't know, Jim Rohn is the late Jim Rohn, was a military veteran himself, turned entrepreneur who turned into a multi-millionaire. If you've ever heard of the company Herbalife, he had a very big hand in bringing their vision to fruition. So, incredibly successful individual in his personal life as well as his professional life. He has consistently been an influence in my life as I strive to be a better version of myself. He was actually the catalyst for me as it relates to any type of motivation or inspiration that's not solely spiritual in nature. And so to hear this phenomenal motivator and coach and mentor share his insight as it relates to those who coached and mentored him is really incredible. But I want to focus on two particular parts of what he talked about as it relates to leadership and personal development. One was vision. When I came across Jim Rohn, I did not have a vision for where I was going. In fact, I did not know where I was going at all. I was fairly oblivious to what vision was, and I thought that I could really just wade my way through life. And so as I took to his words and took to studying his life and his successes and applying those blueprints to my life, it was easy for me to regain a vision for where I was going. The second thing that he talks about that I want to highlight, one of the other things that he talks about, that I want to highlight is investment. We live in a world today where we have been taught to want a quick return on our investment. I invest now, I should get a return in less than 30 days, right? I invest now, I should get a return in less than a week. I give to you, you should give back to me. Even if we look at things like the mail and shopping online and things of this nature, the turnaround is just so rapid. At least it helps to instill a mindset of immediate gratification. But I want to witness to you the strength in investment. Success is not something that comes easily. It's not something that comes quickly if it is to last. It takes a lot of work in the background. takes a lot of commitment and it takes an insane amount of investment. Let me share it to you this way. If you are not willing to invest in your own success, don't expect others to be willing to invest in it for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am excited to be here today. We have a great episode of the 365 Daily Grind continuing to line up for you today. We are going to go ahead and make the transition now over to the game. Get some gameplay in. Show you just a small piece of the investment that we make here at the Jedi Master Strike Team. As we strive to be a better version of ourselves, for ourselves, and for those in our circle, that we might inspire you to do the same. Let's get after it. Oh man, I think double XP is still running. This is crazy. Krampus is doing damage earned, regifted, doing damage earns you cash, blah. Yesterday on stream, what do we have? We started with LMGs. I suspect we'll start with LMGs again today. Shout out to Nat Zelly for coming through and being a first-time viewer today. We see you, Nats. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you being here. Additionally, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to DJ Manny Q. Thanks to DJ Manny Q for joining us in the stream today. We see you, DJ. Big props to you. DJ, we're gonna have to come check you out a little bit later, boss man. See what tunes you got for us.
Practice while you can. You'll be entering the field in a bit.
Might have to go with the STG today. Was utilizing the Cooper carbine yesterday, and I felt like it got a silent nerve. Took a lot of shots to take some people out. So we'll be mindful of that today.
Practice is over. The real fight begins now.
I always turn off the highlights while I am streaming.
Battle Royale. The gas is closing on your position.
Don't want to kill
Just
that
start running. Cash drop is inbound. Intercept and seize the cargo.
Peek or die, let's go. Looks like the MG42 today.
Targets are up. Take them
Right
out.
up here. Yeah. What's
Enemy
wrong?
dropping into the AO.
Buckle up, I'm flying.
Oh no! Yo! Krampus! You dirty dog!
If you survive, you earn your freedom.
Yo, that was pretty good.
Time to fight. Eyes up, soldier. Your turn.
Krampus took me out with the
You win this
snowball.
fight and you return to the front line. But if you lose, you're done. It's time, soldier. Break 'em. You're going back to the front line. Great work.
Krampus took me out with the snowball. That was pretty dirty. I did not see that one coming. Oh man, what type of game do I want to play?
Scavenger contract marked.
This is dangerous. They can't
Located a supply box. Secure that position. Objective found. Move to the next location.
Stack some quick coinage here.
Objectives found. Move to the next location.
Nice. Worked out real well. We got a Cooper, we got a SMG. I think this is
All supply boxes found. You crushed it. Enemy UAV active.
Tagging buy station.
Go up here, grab a UAV, see who's around, and go get some kills. We'll
Enemy UAV active.
may or may not rotate back to that recon.
Enemy
Friendly
UAV
recon
active.
inbound.
UAV beginning flyover.
Setting waypoint.
I suspect this guy's too good to I suspect it wrong. What about this guy? This guy's flying in, I think.
UAV is out of fuel. Returning for resupply.
And what we did there was we wasted time. This guy's in the second story of this house. Did he see me? What? How'd that thing even hit me? Got fighting here.
Setting waypoint.
Let's go play spoiler.
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone. Friendly loadout drop on the way.
Friendly recon inbound.
UAV beginning flyover.
What I hope the dude here is, you know, high on this loadout.
UAV is out of fuel. Returning for resupply.
Gas is right on your tail.
Dude. Actually, I'm gonna pick up the Cooper. We'll use that for close range engagements.
Enter target location. Enter target location.
Where'd you go? We're already down to 36 people. I need more money though. What?
The enemy won this battle, but we'll be back to finish the war.
Oh my gosh. So, what I did there was I gave myself away when I ran out chasing that individual. This guy just dropped a daddy on me. I heard that one. Be careful highlighting yourself.
Practice while you can. You'll be entering the field in a bit.
going on, Clementine? Thank you for joining the stream over on YouTube. We are glad you are here. How do we get back to it, ladies and gentlemen?
Enough training. Now you fight a real enemy.
Excuse me. My apologies. You know what it is. Peek or die. Should probably get a couple more kills out of Peek here with the Christmas tree up. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is our second match. You know the drill for the 365 daily grind. We run 3 rounds. Let's see what we can do here. We got the Bren and... Ooh, crap.
Enemy soldier nearby. Hunt the enemy before they hunt you.
How did I not see this guy? Oh, and I had 2 of them.
Welcome to the Gulag. If you
I did not
survive,
make
you
it
earn
to
your
the
freedom.
Halo first.
You win this fight and you return to the front line. But if you lose, you're done. It's time, soldier. Break 'em. You're going back to the front line.
Good drop shot it.
Scavenger contract marked.
So look, ladies and gentlemen, part of the vision for the 365 daily grind is to take myself, who was once a below average player, and show you that through hard work, dedication, and hours in the game, you don't have to stay there.
Located a supply box. Secure that position.
Now, am I where I want to be? Absolutely. But we are making progress. That's the point. Progress is the drive, not perfection.
You're losing ground. Move it. Next objective updated.
Excuse me. I had a hiccup. So, progress is the drive here, ladies and gentlemen. We're not coming in here to be perfect. We don't expect to be perfect. Ultimately, we have a vision of being a top-tier player. And we know that that's going to take time.
Objectives found.
So that's
Move
what
to
we're
the
here
next
doing.
location.
We're putting in the time. This is just a small portion of the time that we put in. If you ask my wife, on average, she'd tell you that I put in about 6 hours a day. Come here.
Enemy precision airstrike. Stay alert.
No. Oh,
Next time
no
will be
way.
different. Return to
He
base.
baited me the whole way, too. What I should have did there was cut him off. instead of chasing him. And I took too long to shoot the first rounds at him. I could have utilized the SMG, and I didn't. Well played on his part. If you ask my wife, she might tell you that I put in, I don't know, 12 hours a day. Realistically, I probably put in, on a light day, I'll put in 2 hours a day. On a heavy day, I'll probably put in about 6 or 7 hours a day. But training to be a better player, at least for me, is a lot like training to be a better athlete. You put in the reps, you put in the time, you figure out where you're making mistakes, you seek to improve on those areas. This is a blueprint that anybody can utilize, and that the reality is most people have utilized before. I saw my deficiencies in Warzone, and I said I didn't want to stay there. And so part of the reason that I do this is to show you guys blunders like that, so that when you're going through the struggles that you will go through as someone who wants to be better, that you understand it's normal, number one, and more importantly, that it's not just you who has these struggles. So we all make mistakes. It's part of the game. It's part of the process of life, of getting better to be a better version of ourselves. So let's get after it. Game 3 here, ladies and gentlemen. Game 3. Then we got a buddy who's on. We're going to raid out.
Holding for deployment. Take this time to ready up.
Maybe I'll wake my wife up with breakfast today. She says I don't like breakfast. I said, what are you talking about? I love breakfast. She don't know. Oh, man. Excuse me. I think we got 2 people on. Decisions.
Enough training.
Oh, no. We
Now you fight a real
I'm the
enemy.
second one. Peek or die. That on the line.
Battle Royale.
If I
That's
can get
gas
to
you
the
don't wanna
helo
breathe.
first, this
Make
could
your
turn
way to
into
the
a
safe
PR
zone.
race. And that was not the best jump.
Primary objective
Buckle
is
up,
to
I'm
eliminate
flying.
all enemies. Attack! Enemy soldier nearby.
Yeah.
Supply box marked. Secure the goods.
Come on. Gotcha.
Enemy UAV active. Enemy soldier nearby. You've got gas moving in.
Buckle up, I'm flying.
Ah! I did not see that
You're in the
helo
gulag
coming in.
now. Survive to earn redeployment. Stay sharp, you'll be out there soon. Eyes up, soldier, your turn. Win here and you return to the battlefield.
Oh, I hate
Lose and
this
your
guy.
fight is over. It's time, soldier. Break 'em. You showed no weakness. Stand by for redeployment.
I promise you I hate that gun. Okay. I don't know if this is supposed to be here. What's going on, John? Good morning. It took me a long time to realize that the sight of that gun is on the right-hand side. It's not centered like it is on most guns. I love the gun. I hate the sight. The iron sight. It's actually a gun I'll probably level up. I've been working on the DP27, which I think I have at about level 50 something. I'll probably pick that one up afterwards. Let's just go beachhead.
Attacking a bounty contract.
Enemy UAV active.
That was really dirty, I know. Well played.
Learn from the loss and come back stronger.
Use the jump. Saw me. Took me out. I totally agree, John. It is time for breakfast and to get going. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our third match. Look, could be better, could be worse.
Strap yourself in.
Because we also know it's improvement. Let me set up the raid. We want to thank you for having joined us, whether you're joining us now or you'll be joining us later on in the day or in the evening. We wish to thank you for having joined us for this episode of the 365 Daily Grind, for supporting the channel, and for being our friend. We hope that you have a phenomenal day, and that you continue. I did this yesterday. That you continue to be a better version of yourself, for those in your circle, and to inspire others to do the same. We love you. Take care. Peace.